And Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison joins me now from St. Paul. Mr. Ellison, thanks very much for being with us. First, I know that your mother recently died due to complications from the coronavirus, and I want to express our condolences to you and your family.
Thank you for that. My family and I really appreciate it, and we want to extend our condolences to the Americans who have lost loved ones due to Corona-19. We can tell you firsthand experience that this is a very serious thing. None of these stay-at-home orders are meant to punish anyone. These are meant to preserve and save as many lives as possible. And given that you can be an asymptomatic carrier running around because you feel healthy does not mean that that health will be extended to the people you are in contact with. So I ask people to obey these shelter-in-place, stay-at-home orders to prevent people from being like our family, who've lost the very center of our family.
And even as families like yours go through this process of grieving in this surreal situation, there is this debate that's emerging over opening up states. As you know, President Trump said it was up to states to decide when to reopen, but he also tweeted about, quote, liberating states, including yours, that are under stay-at-home orders. As someone whose duty it is to enforce the laws of the state of Minnesota, what do you hear in that call to, quote-unquote, liberate states?
I believe he's asking people to defy the governor's lawful order passed pursuant to Minnesota statutes and our Constitution designed to promote health and safety. I think what I hear is that he's not concerned about the health and welfare of the people he's asking to liberate Minnesota. The fact that those people's families will pay a severe price for his irresponsible tweet, I can't see that he's concerned about their welfare. And certainly I think that it's not what we need right now. What we need right now is leaders in all places to say, this is tough, nobody likes it, we're gonna open up the country as soon as we can, but we're going to do it in a way that's going to preserve life and health. That's what we need out of him, and I'm afraid that in that tweet we didn't get it.
So that's what you hear in that call. I wonder what you would say to others, though, who in that call themselves feel this dire economic situation that they are finding themselves and their family members in. And the longer that each of these stay-at-home orders goes on, the more uncertainty and stress and anxiety they feel with every passing moment. What would be your message to those folks?
My message is that, look, my heart's with you. I definitely think that, the anxiety that you're feeling is understandable. But but if we don't get our hands on this virus, we will see massive loss of life, which in itself will cause a lot of economic pain. Let's shelter in place now, bend the curve down now, so that we can step out of this pandemic lockdown in a way that is productive and helpful for everybody into the future. Right now, if we do not shelter in place, we are going to have prolonged pain, many more deaths that are necessary. And I just say, please understand that this is, in fact, a lesser of two evils. And the economic damage is an evil, but losing your loved one, losing your own life is even worse. And we're asking people to stand together, hang together, and put health and safety first. And we will get through this thing together.
You've condemned these protests and called them dangerous and irresponsible,
Yes.
but the reality is there anything that you can do to actually stop them?
Well, yeah, I mean, there are legal tools available, but I don't want to threaten people with legal action. What I'd like them to do is understand that they're putting their loved ones at risk. These folks probably aren't too worried about a civil or criminal action being brought against them. But aren't they concerned about losing someone they love and is deeply dear to them because they're irresponsible and don't understand asymptomatic carriers? That's the problem, that they think that because they feel fine, it's fine. Just because you feel fine does not mean you're not positive, does not mean you're not a carrier, and does not mean you're not going to put someone at risk close to you. This is what I'm asking them to understand. If we have to take action, we will do it, but we would rather have voluntary compliance because this is fundamentally about preserving life. That's what this is about. That's why we're doing shelter in place, and we really need everyone's cooperation.
I want to ask about another aspect of this story. This virus, of course, does not recognize state borders. Is Minnesota considering creating a consortium of states like the ones that we are seeing on the east and west coasts?
Let me tell you, our governor is in contact with other governors across the nation and in the Midwest. We do believe that working together, cooperating, is the right thing to be doing. And it is true that governors are looking at a way to step forward out of this pandemic in a way that does not create greater risk. And so we do need to be in touch with folks in Wisconsin, North and South Dakota, Iowa, Illinois, and in the entire upper Midwest. So it is the right move to be making, and we're going to be working in cooperation.
And what's the latest that you're hearing? What are the current plans to reopen Minnesota? Is there any sense of what a specific timeline might look like?
Well, we're going to let the science and the epidemiologists inform us on this front. I can tell you that we recently passed an executive order through the Executive Council that said that you can go to more outdoor activities like golf or other sort of activities where you can safely distance yourself from someone else. So we're not trying to make this any more restrictive than it needs to be. In fact, we're trying to make it only as restrictive as it needs to be to bend the curve down. So we're constantly reviewing that. And at this point, I don't want to announce anything because I don't want to give the impression to the people that this thing's over. It's not over. We have a few more weeks to go on this, maybe more than that, but it's all driven by the health. If things go well sooner than expected, that's awesome. We're going to take advantage of that, but we're not going to put people's health at risk. And we're going to try to preserve the economy as much as we can. We can do both, but we need cooperation at this time.
All right, Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison. Mr. Ellison, really grateful that you could take the time to talk to us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.